that it was coming, like the other players expressed yesterday.
Stephen A., here's why the Pegula family can do that. Since 2019, the Bills have the most wins in a 7-season stretch without a Super Bowl appearance, including the playoffs. The Bills became the fourth team in the Super Bowl era to win a playoff game in 6 straight seasons. The previous 3 all won Super Bowls during that span. That's why ownership would be justified in making the decision to fire Sean McDermott without talking to that $300 million quarterback, without consulting any of the players on the roster.
I'm not saying they wouldn't be justified. I'm saying knowing what you know about football and how organizations operate. I'm asking you, do you believe that the Buffalo Bills made that decision and Josh Allen never saw it coming and he's totally shocked and had nothing to do with the decision whatsoever? Do you believe that? That's what I'm asking.
Stephen A., Stevie Wonder could see this coming. If Sean McDermott did not go on a deep playoff run this year with no Burrow, no Lamar, no Mahomes in the postseason, if you lose to the upstart Denver Broncos with second-year quarterback Bo Nix in the fashion that you did, where the best player on the planet ain't even the best quarterback on the field, changes have to be made. This is a production business. It's all about the results. This ain't 7th grade math class where you get credit for showing your work. It don't matter.
So the abundance of dudes that were injured, combined with the fact that you didn't give him the requisite weapons that he needed. I'm talking about Bean. I'm saying all of that goes out the window. I mean, because when we looked at Denver, we looked at a team that had 68 sacks, that had a 4th shy of a record from the Chicago Bears in 84, had a top defense in the National Football League.
Stephen A., here's where you lose me with the Josh Allen doesn't have enough help argument. They ran Steph Diggs out of town in Buffalo. Josh Allen, the player that we know him now, he didn't start becoming that until they traded for Steph Diggs from Minnesota.
They ran him
out of Buffalo as addition by subtraction, ends up being addition by addition for the New England Patriots. How'd Steph Diggs look on Sunday against the Houston Texans? You can't argue that Josh Allen don't have enough help when they ran help out of town. That's on the quarterback.
Okay, listen.
No. You got me there. I can concede that. I mean, it's a moment. Hold on to the moment, CC. Hold on to the moment. It's rare. You got me there. You got me there.
Flip it off and get it on social media now.
But the hard part of you saying that is, Stephon Diggs has been gone a while. Like, at some point, you have to replenish the room. They have not replenished the room. They missed that Coleman didn't become what they should have become. Their tight ends and their running backs were the guys they were throwing the ball to. If you look at Josh Allen's touchdown and interception ratio to receivers, it's bad. They had an opportunity to fix a problem that Bean did not address. And listen, even in preseason, he always mocked the position of, we don't need anybody at that position. You and I both know, at the end of the day, you have to have a dude at receiver. At least one dude. They did not have one.
But Jeff.
And listen, Stephon Diggs been gone, y'all. You had an opportunity at the trade deadline to benefit your team, knowing your defense wasn't going to carry the weight.
Jeff, I can't give you that. Jeff, I watched the game on Saturday. Josh Allen had an inexplicable fumble before halftime.
Agreed.
Josh Allen threw a pick 2 plays later after his defense gave him the ball in plus territory. Josh Allen had a wide open Dawson Knox to win the game. That ain't got nothing to do with receivers. That's your quarterback.
What is up, everybody? If you just felt the temperature in the room spike, you're not alone. That right there is the sound of a foundational NFL debate hitting its breaking point. The Buffalo Bills fire a successful, playoff-making head coach in Sean McDermott, and immediately, the conversation splits into 2 warring camps. And in that first take clip, Stephen A. Smith and CC don't just represent those 2 sides, they absolutely body each other with their arguments. Today, we're going to unpack this entire thing, because it's about way more than Sean McDermott. This is a debate about modern team building, superstar accountability, and what failure actually means in today's NFL. Let's start with Stephen A. Smith's central thesis, which is fascinating from an organizational perspective. His biggest issue isn't necessarily the firing itself. His issue is with the asymmetry of the decision. He lays it out perfectly. General Manager Brandon Beane, the guy responsible for constructing this roster, gets a promotion to president. Meanwhile, the head coach, who had to coach the roster Beane gave him, gets fired. In Stephen A.'s view, that's a fundamental mismatch of accountability. And then he asks the million-dollar question that every Bills fan is thinking. Do you believe that the Buffalo Bills made that decision and Josh Allen never saw it coming? This is critical. In today's NFL, franchise quarterbacks aren't just employees, they're stakeholders. Their opinion carries immense weight. Stephen A. is implying that if Allen was blindsided, it's an organizational failure in communication. But if Allen was consulted and did give a tacit or explicit okay, well, that changes the entire narrative around Josh Allen's leadership and his role in this era coming to an end. But then, CC comes in with the sledgehammer of context that you cannot ignore. He hits us with the cold, hard, brutal stats. Since 2019, the Bills have the most wins in a 7-season stretch without a Super Bowl appearance. Let that sink in. They are the ultimate almost team of this era. And the kicker? The 3 other teams to win a playoff game in 6 straight seasons all won Super Bowls during that span. The Bills didn't. In a results business, that stat is the entire reason for the firing. It's the why written in bold, undeniable letters. CC's point is that when the result is that level of championship futility despite regular season success, ownership is justified in making a clean top-down football decision without running it by the players. The standard wasn't met. Period. Now this is where the debate goes from philosophical to personal. Stephen A. makes the Josh Allen needs help argument. That Bean failed to surround him with enough weapons, especially after the Stephon Diggs trade. It's a common and fair point, but CC drops the tactical nuke. He says, you can't argue that Josh Allen don't have enough help when they ran help out of town. That's on the quarterback. Boom. This is the moment that flips the entire script. CC is connecting dots that a lot of people try to keep separate. The reporting around Stephon Diggs' exit wasn't just about a disgruntled receiver. It was heavily implied that the relationship with Josh Allen had deteriorated, that they weren't on the same page. If the franchise quarterback is a driving force behind moving on from a top-tier weapon, then he inherits a portion of the responsibility for what comes next. You don't get to push out your WR1 and then blame the GM for you not having a WR1. That's the double standard CC is calling out. And this leads us to the core tension of the entire Bills dilemma, which these 2 debaters embody. Stephen A. is arguing about process. The process of building a team failed Josh Allen. The process of allocating blame, firing the coach but promoting the GM, is flawed. The process of making such a huge decision likely involved the quarterback, which complicates things. CC is arguing about results. The result was a home playoff loss to Bo Nix and the Broncos. The result was Josh Allen turning the ball over in critical moments. The result was another year without a Super Bowl appearance despite a historic run of playoff berths. So, who's right? I think the uncomfortable truth lies in the middle, and it's what makes the Bills' future so uncertain. Stephen A. is right that the roster construction has been flawed, especially at wide receiver. Relying on Dalton Kincaid and James Cook as your primary pass catchers in a must-win playoff game is a choice, and it's a choice Brandon Beane made. But CC is also right that at some point, the quarterback has to transcend. For all of Josh Allen's magic, his fatal flaw has been the catastrophic turnover in the biggest moments. The fumble before halftime against Denver, the pick shortly after, the missed throw to a wide-open Dawson Knox. These are not "my receivers aren't good enough" plays. These are "I need to be better" plays. Elite, $250 million quarterbacks are paid to offset roster deficiencies, especially in January. The Bills' front office, by firing McDermott and keeping Beane, has made its bet. They are betting that the primary problem was coaching, not talent acquisition, and certainly not the quarterback. They are betting that a new voice, a new scheme, can get the last 10% out of Josh Allen and this core. It's a bet that places the overwhelming burden of proof squarely on Josh Allen's shoulders next season, because the new head coach won't have an excuse. Brandon Beane, now as president, has even less of an excuse. If this doesn't work, if the Bills stall out again next year, the conversation will no longer be about Sean McDermott. It will be a much louder, much more uncomfortable conversation about the man they just promoted and the quarterback they've built everything around. What do you think? Was firing Sean McDermott the right move? Or did the Bills scapegoat the wrong guy? Is CeCe's point about Stephon Diggs a game changer in how we view Josh Allen's accountability? And most importantly, did the Bills just make a franchise-altering mistake, or did they finally make the tough decision needed to get over the hump? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is one of the best debates of the offseason. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the biggest sports arguments. Thanks for watching.